What's he picking as Monday? Hoofa. Now I'm live. I'm going to turn on Do Not Disturb. Content. We got CPI data coming. Live. Let's turn it on. Save. Voila. Voila. Cardinal Health. Morning, Mike. I included Cardinal Health. This one's tricky to me. It's an alpha pick. I think it's late in the cycle, so I can bring it up. I don't know when they picked it, but this is it's crazy that they announced they're up 5%. I don't know about the company per se, but the growth is what's killing them. And the growth, I mean, now they're at 11%, but the levered free cash flow is killing them. And so I think it's going to get pulled out of alpha picks, but I don't know. That's an interesting one. And I was looking at lows earlier. I included alpha picks in this one. Let's see. I mean, the market's kind of, NVIDIA is the only thing that's really, I mean, SMCI is up 2%, NVIDIA's up 2%. Lows to me is the play from yesterday. And what's interesting is the morning candle was down 0.35. The afternoon candle's up 0.2, almost 3%. And I think people figured out that when Home Depot said, when they said the rate cuts should help the DIYer, I think that people found out. I gotta change my camera. I didn't realize this. Okay, there we go. My housekeeper was here yesterday, so my setup's a little bit different. Yeah, I mean, it's just the chart doesn't look good. I got my dad out the other day, and he only had like $1,000, so it wasn't. We're talking $5 when it goes up this much. It's 108. I think I sold out. It was last Friday, so let's just see. I mean, that's October 9th, or I'm sorry, August 9th. $100. I think we sold out at like $100. But again, it was $1,000. He was long term. I think he made. He was in somewhere in here where it was like at $50. He had 100% gain. So I said, take it. We'll look to buy it back if you want. The support levels are perfect here on the weekly, where, look at that. It almost pulled back to 81. This one, it actually pulled back to that 95. And that was the time to buy. And now you're at 108. And so this probably 115 turns out to be a solid, hey, it's probably going to 115 and higher. I mean, the valuation does not look bad. Oh, I didn't hear about SCVR. I haven't read that one. Wow. It's up 25%. I don't know what the hell this is. I don't want to go through and read it. Hold on one second. Okay. I got to do some scans. We got 8:30 coming up with CPI. Let me see my notes. Where are my notes? There they are. Wednesday. Home Depot was a miss. Guided down. I bought a few things yesterday. I bought QQQ. I did buy TQQQ. I bought VOO. And I bought MicroStrategy. NVIDIA another day. And it just keeps going up. Lily buying under 900. It actually got under 800. SEVR is a, let's see, SERV. Wow, algorithm actually got you out yesterday at 548%, ironically. And now it's up another 25%. Let's see how the 65-minute works on this one. 65-minute got you out with a 2% loss. It will get you back in. MACD's down. I mean, it looks weak. It's probably popping, you know, the 5-minute. Let's see. $5-minute doesn't have you in. Nice move from yesterday, though. $10.83 all the way up to $11.77. That's good. I mean, this one was a 1% gain. July CPI data. Markets are up into this number. I was asking yesterday on Spaces. Oh, huh. Interesting. Nasdaq's moving a lot. I think this number's priced in, to be honest with you. Oh. Nasdaq's popping. Not huge, but it's popping. I mean, it's not getting brought down. That's the good news. Huh. 0.2 versus 0.2, right in line. So nothing crazy. X Food and Energy. Is that the Chick-fil-A servo box things? They're all over Atlanta, those Chick-fil-A robots. I did buy TQQQ yesterday, by the way. I posted about it. Boy, this doesn't... let's see. News. Core inflation in line. Okay, we'll put this. Boo. I haven't given up all my gains on TQQQ, but I may sell out here. Let me look at the 5-minute real quick. Oh, it got you out right before. Yeah. I mean, it's only down 0.14%. I was up like 2.5%. Now I'm down up 1.8. Let's see what the candle looks like. At 8:35. I mean, it's coming right back, so it's not like TQQQ is. I'm watching on Webull. I love Webull charts. The volume profile is enormous on TQQQ. But it's in line. I mean, there's nothing shocking. I was asking yesterday, when PPI is that much of a reduction, Grok 2 and Grok 2 mini models. I should bring up this, yeah. That I need to. Let's see. That was telegraphed. Where's my? There we go. Where is my notes? Okay, paste already. There we go. Bum, bum, bum. Now, why is this not opening up? There we go. Okay. Home. Boeing finds new sets of problems. Most shorted names. Exits arms in Q2. Brinker International profits miss. There's not much here that I want to go over. I want to go over mainly charts. I mean, this one doesn't look great. It does look like the market's trying to make a little turn back, but doesn't look fantastic. Okay, I'm not doing interactive stuff, but I mean, the TQQQ is just kind of fluttering around. I think everything was priced in. Hold on, I'll be right back. Oh, okay. Let's move into scans. Wah, wah. Because I'm going to do a lot of charts today. Scans. We're going to do the daily stock pick market scanner. Start off with the Boeing, ironically, they have issues. This would be a long entry. Yeah, you wrote about that one. So here, I'll show you, Scott. Disney is a great American company, but post-pandemic, they got run up so much based on the hype of streaming, and then it just fell apart. Absolutely fell apart. That's 2015. And so, that was where it was trading at 100. You've lost money since then. Look at that run up from 2011. I mean, that was post financial crisis. Disney was just a monster earner during those years. It's turned into a debt factory, and they constantly just turn out over debt. And so look at that. I mean, that you're still in an upward trajectory using that 200-day on the monthly as the support. And you did that based in 2023 too, before you bounced back up. Now, I don't know what lever they're going to pull, but it's been dead weight. You can take a look at Cisco. Very similar chart. Look at this. This goes back to 2000. It's not at that level. But Cisco, great American company. It is building the internet. That's kind of the deal there. Then you take a look at a company like Micron. Great example. Micron has been a monster. That is just getting back to 2000 levels. So I think picking your company, your stock portfolio, you don't want to be in this kind of company when it's moving like that. You look at something like Apple. I mean, look at my core portfolio holdings that I have in mind. That's a solid monthly stock. You look at something like Google. This over monthly, from 2015, we can look at GOGL. I think that has more. Yeah, that has more. They're moving straight up. Look at something like Microsoft. It's moved, from 2000 to 2014. This stock did nothing. After 2014, you wanted to own it. You look at Meta. Meta doesn't have that many. It doesn't even have a 200-day on this one. But since its IPO at 24, you've wanted this stock. You look at something like Tesla. I don't know if this one's going to be a great one, but you look at this one. It's moving sideways. And so that has stalled. Now it moved sideways here from 2014 to 2018 as well. But you take a look at those long-term stocks, and it's it's just not great. We can look at Nvidia. You look at Nvidia. Look at that stock on a monthly. You look at Netflix on a monthly. This one hiccup of 2022. That was when the valuation was called into question. You look at XLK. I mean, this is an ETF that monthly looks really good. You look at XLY. When the consumer was weak, that's the problem. You're trading sideways when the consumer's weak. You look at something like energy, and it's taken off. But this one, you go back to 2007, you're trading at 86. I mean, it's just sideways. Energy has been like that. Uber doesn't have enough candles, so you can't really see it. Taiwan Semiconductor, same. I mean, Buffett sold back here in the 70s, 90s, somewhere in that neighborhood. You look at the Qs. The Qs, great ETF. On a monthly, do you want to be on that downside? Probably not, but you've got 1 month on the downside. Look at how stretched that MACD is. Look at the last time the MACD was up there. That's hard to stomach, that type of downturn. But I think we've got growth in those names. So Pan W, it's a good-looking name. Occidental Petroleum, that's why I got out of that one. I don't particularly like that one. You look at Eli Lilly. It's been a fantastic stock after a long, long downturn. You look at something like Costco. Great stock. Does it sustain this kind of stuff? On a monthly basis, that's just hard to sustain, that type of thing. So you want to take a look at stocks that you own and stocks that are fairly valued and you think they're going to grow. That's where it kind of comes into play. MicroStrategy. I bought more. And WFC. Wells Fargo. You look at Wells Fargo on a monthly. Take a look at a bank. Doesn't look great. Things that you want to own are those bottom left to upper right. Now, this one does work that way because $19.95, you were paying $6 for it. You have 10 times your money. But there's a lot of other stocks that are significantly better than that. Goldman Sachs on a monthly. That one doesn't look horrible at all. Continuing higher. So, but the MACD getting up there. So I just, I take those with a grain of salt when they look to shock you like that. But I do pay attention, something like that. BETE. That's the Bitcoin one. Covered calls. Income ETFs. TSLY. TSLY has an entry here. And that's just this is giving away its income. Energy names. Let's see. Energy. I think energy may get a pop here. SLB, CHRD, LIC, OIH, the oil drillers, CBX. I may replace Occidental Petroleum, to be honest with you. I just don't like. I sold out of it. I don't like the way it's trading. UMDD, URTY, UCYB. I think Berkshire, with its cash position, might be a really good play here. Spider sectors, anything, XLB. XLB. And I love the compound. I think they do a great job on that show. I really do think they're one of the best podcasts out there. I like that they're able to speak so freely. IWM gets a buy. Twilio and Cardinal Health. Cardinal Health is up 6%. I think that one's going back to 118, to be honest with you. Okay, we're going to look at the Dow. Anything other than Chevron? Chevron and Boeing. NASDAQ 100. Cintas. Airbnb. Let's look at S&P 100. Deere. Oh, look at that. Deere. My WFC is already in there. MetLife, USB, US Bancorp, FedEx, Mo, and Lynn. I've already got Lynn. And I don't like that one. That one's the smoker. Altria, I think it is. Yeah, I don't like that one. We're not going to include that. Strategy tester, we'll go back. So if you don't know, that is scans for the Patty, that's why you have Trendspider. I mean, honestly, I don't, the buy signal is what everybody seems to want to know. The sell signal significantly more important. I don't scan for sell signals because I don't know your portfolio. I scan for buys and opportunities to get in. If I knew your portfolio, I could tell you, hey, I'd get out of this one. But that's such a personal decision on when to sell. It's hard for me to actually scan on that stuff because I don't know your portfolio. Now, I could do it on the core portfolio, but the reality is that's going to, I don't own that one. What do I care about? Ultimately, I want to talk about what people want to know, and when to buy is pretty much what people want to know. So I can't tell you when to sell. That's a personal opinion, but I don't do this to kind of, gain fame or fortune or anything of that sort. I do this to try and help folks. And the number one thing that I can tell people is if you learn charting and you learn that previous all-time highs are resistance levels and are past support levels and turn into resistance if they break through that. If you learn that, these EMAs or SMAs, whichever one you prefer, are significant when you can tell where the stock is trading. Bollinger Bands, where is that? Where is the moving average compared to the Bollinger Bands? Are they cinching up? You can learn MACD. I was listening to Kelly OG on, and don't ask me why. I mean, this girl just total grifter. But she's like, if you make $5,000 in our trading group every month, I'm like, who the fuck is making $5,000 a month in your fucking trading group without risking a tremendous amount of capital? But again, she's just a grifter. But she said indicators mean nothing. I use the RSI and it would tell me nothing. I learned to ignore the indicator. The indicators matter. Indicators matter. Whatever your system is, if you don't use the RSI, that's fine. But it matters. It's one of the things. You don't want to trade on just the RSI. No. Do you want to trade on the RSI and the MACD? Super successful. Do you want to trade on the 50-day and the 200-day and the RSI and the MACD? Absolutely. You can trade on that. Set up your system. But for her to say, the RSI is junk and it means nothing, shows me, just crap. So I would scan for sales. Sorry to go off, but that just reminded me. Oh, look at this. We just had another big buy. Insider buys on, let's see. Insider buy on ET. August 12th by Warren Kelsey. Bought 47 million more at 1568. Great stock. Great dividend. Owner now. CEO and chairman. Okay. And that's just fine. I mean, this was just going to Finviz. This isn't anything that, look at this. I mean, the stock, this dude has been adding multiple tops here at 1646. So you got to understand that's just, part of doing business in this one. I'm going to get out of there. Energy transfer. So it's a hold in the quant. Strong buy from Wall Street. Let's see what the price target on this one is. 25% upside. They've been chasing it up, but the stock has been rising in with it. Revisions, that's where you might get a little bit of a problem. 7 down, 2 up in the last 90 days. Let's see their valuation. 15. So the P is a little bit, dividend safety. That's what I want to look at. Where's their dividend? Because they do have a big dividend. Dividend yield A- because it is a forward yield of 8.22%. What are they putting on their dividend? Let's see. Morning, Mark. Yeah, buy into weakness. That's what he's doing. He's buying into weakness. I'll remove this text annotation. That's all he's doing. He's buying into weakness. Weakness. There you go. Okay, so let's open up. Okay, sports betting. DraftKings backs off. Foxconn. That was a pretty big indication of their servers in China. Cardinal Health beat. We'll look at that one. Victoria's Secret got a new CEO. This was interesting, I thought, from Tesla, from Trendspider on Tesla. I thought that one was interesting. Google event was kind of cool. I really liked some of the big things that they came out with Gemini on their Google phones. Morning, Dan. Nobody's going to be a buyer of what the hell's going on? Why is this slowing up? Let's see. It must be X. Yeah, it is. Mars. Okay. Cheez-Its. Do you have any of them or all of them? Was kind of a cool one. Cheez-Its, then we have that one. Core inflation number, perfectly fine. I posted out the alert I got. Well, no. So it's not buying into weakness. So what he's doing is he's buying stock. So if you're an insider, there are certain times when you can buy, certain times when you can't buy. There are big restrictions around insiders buying and selling. So what he's doing is he's just saying, hey, we reported good earnings, 35 cents per share. That's up from 32. Look at the volume pops there. The MACD super low. He's probably not even looking at this. He's like, the stock's worth 18 or 19 bucks. I'm going to buy it at 15.57. So that's what he's doing. We'll go over Walmart a little bit. This is I have a lot of tweets that I put out yesterday. Yesterday's performance. Home Depot reverses early losses. That was big yesterday. We'll start out on the Qs. Thing will be Walmart earnings. I gotta look at my TQQQ positioning. I want to sell it right now, honestly, because let's see, TQQQ, I am up a total of 2.5%. That's not much. I mean, I only took out $1,000 worth. Let me see. I bought in 15 shares. So I didn't buy too much. I bought in, I'm up 2.56. This is my Webull account. This is where I bet. I don't do options yet. I mean, my Webull account, I have a ton of stuff. I actually have Starbucks. I didn't realize that I bought I bought $100 worth of Starbucks on Monday morning. I forgot about it. I was going over how great my birthday experience at Starbucks was, and I forgot. I just bought $100 worth of Starbucks in my Webull account. And I forgot to tell everybody, but I'm up, my $100 worth of Starbucks stock, it's at 143 right now. So it was a good buy. It was a damn good buy. I got lucky. Yeah. Okay. I mean, TQQQ has been a play in the 4-hour for a while. It depends, Steph. It depends on what you're looking at. Yesterday, I was looking at two things. And I'll show you kind of the way that I looked at it. But I looked at the 4-hour. It said, hey, buy in at 57 here. I saw we had confirmation. Yesterday's morning move started. I forget. Let me see what price I got. I'll tell you when I bought it. Let me see. I don't know how to look up. It was at 11:35 yesterday. I bought it 62.37. So I saw we had confirmation. I said, the 4-hour looks good. Then I looked at the 65-minute and I said, okay, let me look at that one. And it was a buy here at 56. And I said, those two are really good. And then I went into the 5-minute and I said, hey, how's this one looking in the 5-minute? And at 11:30, it looked damn good yesterday. I mean, look at that. If that's 10:20, then 11:30, you had confirmation, and you had confirmation all the way up. Now you lost confirmation. Did I get out? No, I'm not up at 4:00 in the morning. I'm not looking at this stuff. I decided to hold it overnight. I was debating last night whether to sell it. So, whether you get into this or not is up to you. I that's just the way I did it. And $1,000 is a lot of money. To me, I'm not losing $1,000 if I put $1,000 on TQQQ. I might lose, $100 in a big downward move. But see, PPI had come out. I didn't know how many times PPI actually diverged from CPI. I didn't think it was going to be a lot, but so morning, John. MNDY, I don't know anything about it, but I did see that one of the guys who I follow on YouTube did a chart analysis of it. I mean, that chart looks ugly to me. Earnings are out. I mean, it's got on the upward side of the 9-day. You got a huge gap on earnings. Algorithm got you in 215. I mean, that's again, the 4-hour algorithm trades well on this one. You don't have a 200-day. You're kind of hanging on to the 50-day. I would say your support level is probably around 240, 250. But software names are getting a bounce. I mean, look, Snowflake is reporting next week. This one has been super, super weak of late. Algorithm got you in at 121. You're at 127. This is one that I like to bounce. The problem is the valuation. And again, I don't have a lot of money into this one. I have a couple $1,000s into this one. And I'm in at like 180, 150, somewhere in that neighborhood. So I'm losing money. But the size of that position matters. I'm not going balls deep on this one. I'm going, just dipping my toe in. I did go big on some stuff yesterday. I bought some stuff. Patty My guess is, and I've said this many times, and again, it's just a guess. Anybody you hear about this market and historical patterns and shit like that, it's all just a guess. But my guess is we see continued weakness. I think you're starting to see a turn to a half-point rate cut. I think if Jerome Powell doesn't, and the Fed doesn't think that there's enough fight on inflation, and they do a quarter point, it's going to be too much. I think all of this is factored around September. And I think what happens, there's two things that happen. My guess is we trade up on the anticipation of the rate cut. When the rate cut happens, it's either a quarter point or a half a point. If it's a quarter point, they didn't do enough. Market pulls back. If it's a half point, oh my God, they're panicking. The economy's bad. So, yeah, Steph, if your company uses it and you use it personally and you like it, have at it. Ironically, that's what I did with Twilio. I mean, I trade Twilio because I like the software. Now, I didn't trade it recently, but this is a while ago. I mean, I haven't worked since 2019, 2020, January 2020, but I bought it around here. I think it was November 2019. We had used it, and I saw that pullback on the weekly. And so I bought it, and I traded it up to 2020, and then it sank down. I think I got rid of it at about 100. I had bought it around 90 something, so I didn't trade it very well. But then I bought it back. I bought it back probably around 120 or 130, and I got rid of it around $200, $300, somewhere in that neighborhood. But I never got back in. And this one trading sideways to me, I think it's undervalued there, but the software, it's been so long since I worked in that business that I just, I loved the software. I thought the software was really, really good, and I liked it, but I haven't used it for a while. So, okay, let me go into the podcast because it's now 9:06. I usually start at 9. Okay. Good morning. Happy hump day. It's August 14th. It is the day I visit. You guys will start to see my teeth slowly whiten. I am going to Dentist of the Stars, Dr. Talibi, here in Atlanta. Just look up Tooth Architect. If you're in Atlanta, she is by far the best dentist ever. If you're in Atlanta, Dr. Talibi, just look up Tooth Architect. She is the best dentist. A, cares about her patients. B, is an architect and cares about how your teeth looks. Absolutely the number one dentist of the stars. Your boy's a star. I need my teeth whitened. So I'm going to get them whitened today. She's not going to do it today. It's kind of a take-home thing, and then I've got to do it. It's a great service. I mean, honestly, there's nothing better than a good set of teeth. I got a good. I'm a horse. I'm your lead horse in this race. So let's talk about yesterday. Okay, yesterday was crazy, and I brought this up on Spaces. I'm going to be on Spaces again at 3:00 today. But I brought this up. I listened to. By the way, a lot of these guys on Spaces, they love to hear themselves talk. I'm not one. I'm going to get to the point. I'm going to do it. I'm going to interact with some comedy every now and then about how much of a douche Jim Cramer is. But I'm going to do kind of that stuff. But I'm not going to spend 20 minutes on pontificating about stuff. I'm going to get to the point. Here's my point. Yesterday, Home Depot was a mess of an earnings quarter. A mess. They missed. They guided down. The stock was down 4%, somewhere like that beforehand. It wound up 2% up. Okay? That's good news for us in the market because that means all they did was get on the phone call and they said, hey, renovate the lower rates are going to help us in the DIY category. Well, if you want DIY, it's Lowe's, not Home Depot. Home Depot is more focused on the contractors, but they said lower rates will help us. Boom, stock pops up. So I don't know if that means that we've reached a bottom, but at that point in time, when I started to see that stock move, I said, yeah, we're in a market where pretty much good news is good news. And if a stock like Home Depot is able to move something like that, Again, you can read about it in this article. Home Depot reverses early losses after CEO sees lower rates breathing life into DIYers. But the Lowe's is the trade on that. And the Qs soared yesterday. Another day, another NVIDIA, 4% move, whatever it did. It's a 118. It's going back to 130. So, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the things that I bought. We'll talk about core inflation, how it's in line. We'll talk about how Mars bought Kellanova, I think it is. We will talk about Netflix, CrowdStrike, Meta, Google, the event that they did. We'll talk about Tesla. We'll go over some earnings. We'll go over Walmart earnings. I will have all of this for you, okay? Yesterday's move in QQQ. The morning candle, let's see, it was 1.3%. Afternoon candle, 0.18. So it was all about the morning. Now, you didn't get anything. I wound up buying some stuff yesterday at about 11:30 when I got done with the newsletter. Yes, I do the newsletter before I bought stuff. I think I wrote out to the paid newsletter subscribers. If you want to subscribe to the newsletter, it's dailystockpick.substack.com right here. Now, if you want to pay me and support me, again, the newsletter is free. There are some benefits to being a paid member, and I try and protect the paid members. So I use chat in the Substack app. But, they knew when I was selling, when I was buying and stuff like that. I'm going to do some other things with the paid newsletter subscribers as well that's coming up. I just have to get the ideas out of my head. But again, the Qs, we have confirmation. That buy at 446, I said that 450 was the resistance level. We went right through it. Then you have the access to buy. And I bought yesterday. I bought Qs. I added to my position in my brokerage. Ironically, I didn't realize I didn't have the Qs in my brokerage account. I had sold out of the Qs, I think up here in my brokerage account. I took some pretty big profits in that one, but I didn't have it. I had completely forgotten. So I added to my position in my brokerage. I added to my retirement account and my parents' account. Small buys. Wasn't much. I mean, when I say small buys, they're small for me. So I don't want to tell you the amount because they're small for me and it might seem like a lot to you. Don't let FOMO get to you. This is just part of portfolio management. Now, I do think that today's key is Walmart. And we're going to hear about the consumer from Walmart. And that's where you're going to really see some either movement up or we're going to see a big movement back. And if the movement back happens because Walmart doesn't meet or doesn't guide higher or they say something about the consumer, this might not be a great buy. But in my mind, with the 4-hour algorithm saying buy at 446, us going through that previous double top here at 450, and we're at 462, I just wound up buying. And again, it was 3 lots. It's very small. I will continue to add to it as we go up. What scares me about this chart is that 50-day moving down. Because if we see a death cross of the 50-day on the 200, then I'm going to be concerned that we have some more movement down. Now, the MACD moving up, it crossed up. Again, the oscillator, we're minus 0.45 below the oscillator there. The RSI quickly up to 55. We hit that oversold territory. Now, when you look at the weekly on the Qs, and we're just going over the Qs, again, that MACD, it's still going down. You still got that 450 as providing support. Again, to this week's period, it opened at 451. Its low 448. I would consider that holding the low right now, but we're only at Wednesday. So this weekly candle, the 50-day moving up. The Bollinger Bands, they cinched up here and it moved up and pulled back. So we may need a little more sideways movement. I don't think that we're in store for an enormous move up or an enormous move down. There are too many catalysts that are coming in September. This is just August. We're in a seasonally weak period. You can see this movement down since 2022. We've seen less volume in this. This was when everybody was buying back here, was in 2022 when you were trading at 281. So you're going to see some selling pressure up here at the top. That's just it. But I did add QQQ. I also added TQQQ. And how did I add TQQQ? And I just went over it on YouTube Live, but I'll go over it here because I just used Trendspider. I don't use the fundamentals of TQQQ or QQQ. I want to trade the charts. And what did I see yesterday? Well, we went over 450 on QQQ. TQQQ is just a triple levered ETF on the Qs. So it is something that is triple levered on a daily basis. This isn't something that you want to hold on to. Now, the 4-hour makes you 58%. If you just hold on to TQQQ over 24 months, you make 77%. That's because we've been in a bull run. I do not want you to buy this and think, oh my God, I can hold it. I put $1,000 into this. I think it was $950. I bought 15 shares. So I'm not, even if we go to zero on TQQQ, I'm not putting my portfolio in danger. I'm up like 2 or 3%. It's like $20. It's not much, but everything adds to it. So what did I see? Well, in the 4-hour, I saw this one at 57. We have confirmation above that 9-day. I liked it. We're not quite at the 200-day. 64 is the 200-day resistance. If we get above that, great. And then I went down to the 65-minute. And again, this is how I'm using Trendspider. It's a strategy. I'm seeing that the MACD on the 4-hour below the oscillator, the RSI low. Now, what did I see here at 11:30 yesterday? I saw on the 65-minute. You had a buy on Friday at 10:35 at 56. Again, similar to the 4-hour. And it still has confirmation. You've got a gap up here from yesterday between 59 and 60. That's going to worry me. What am I doing? I don't have a stop loss in, but will put a stop loss in today. I wanted to hold until the CPI numbers came out. I said it's worth the bet. It's worth the risk. So I put this in. Now the MACD quickly moving up. The RSI oversold territory. It's at 69 right now. 69. So I went to the 5-minute. Again, this is my process of trying to trade this. Is this a process that I've done over and over and over again? No, this is just my process from yesterday, and I'm trying it out. But I like to trade the charts. If you don't know how to chart, I would urge you try to learn how to chart. I guide you through on the newsletter, on the paid newsletter. You can go down here to the education center section. I try and lead you through how to trade on the charts. But here in the 5-minute, what did I see at 11:30 yesterday? I saw this move from 59 on Monday all the way up to 5%, and it got you out with 6%. But yesterday's move, I saw it above that 9-day right here at about 11:30. I think I got it in 61, and it moved up. Did I get out? No, I wasn't trading this. I knew that I wanted to hold this until CPI. So we've traded sideways. Now, I should have said a stop loss. That's my mistake, but I didn't. And again, it's only 1,000. We're not going down to zero. Am I going to lose money on it? I could, and I could get out of it, but I don't want to hold this one. So I bought that one. That's why I did it. The other thing that I bought was VOO. And it's because my parents are not exposed to VOO enough. They're in their 80s. I want them exposed to VOO. And when you look at the 4-hour, again, we had that previous all-time high at 483. We broke through it. We're past the 200-day on the 4-hour. This is a 4-hour chart. And so you're seeing this huge spike in volume. That was back on August 5th. That was last week. That was the Monday. That was when everybody was buying the VOO. And we might see a pullback. The 50-day still moving negative. We might go above that 50-day. Am I selling this one? No, I'm looking for entries. Another one that I bought yesterday. And the reason was, and I posted this on Twitter. Let me see. Oh, I got to look at that. I posted this on Twitter. Let's see. We're going to open this one up because I didn't open it up. But it was MicroStrategy. And the reason is, again, I'm down good on, well, that's the Qs. Let's go and look at MicroStrategy because I got the buy. I posted it on Twitter yesterday. But the MicroStrategy buy was yesterday at 137.22. Okay, where are we trading right now? We are at I think 137.19. So I bought a little bit higher. I'm not sure the exact price, but I'm adding to my position. I bought here at 139. Now, did I get out that 7%? No, I didn't. I probably should have, but I didn't. 7% gain. Probably should have taken it. The algorithm makes you 491%. Again, part of the point is I backtest this strategy. So on the 4-hour, I wanted to buy more MicroStrategy. I didn't get out. I'm getting dollar cost my average my way in. Bitcoin was under $60,000 yesterday, so I added to that. Again, I have a strategy to this. There is a strategy on the way in. There is a strategy on the way out. And my out on MicroStrategy is to make the average win of 40%. Now, is it going to happen? I don't know. But if I dollar cost average my way in, I'm hoping that that's the case. But MicroStrategy is a leveraged ETF on Bitcoin. That's all it is. Understand that's all it is. And you are overpaying for MicroStrategy. I have IBIT as well as exposure to Bitcoin. So you can take a look at that. This is another great way to look at the Qs. This was part of the reason why I bought yesterday. I saw this from Trendspider. A good rule of thumb for the NASDAQ, when 30% of the stocks are below their 50-day, risk on. When 80% of the stocks are above their 50-day, risk off. And what that is in Trendspider, it's just a way to take a look at when to add to the Qs. I do not suggest trading in and out of the Qs. You can do it in your retirement account. But in a brokerage account, taxes are just going to wind up catching up with you. I think you're better off just holding ETFs, buying and holding ETFs. But when you look at this, the risk on and risk off, and you can do this in FinViz. FinViz allows you to take a look at how many of the Qs, the NASDAQ, are over their 50-day. How many are under under the 50-day? You can take a look at that. So you can set up your own scanner. You don't need me to do that. So let's take a look at yesterday's performance. We got some stuff from Seeking Alpha on our email this morning. XLY moved from hold to buy. We said that yesterday. Cleveland Cliffs went from sell to hold. That's a move up. And QQQM hold to buy. Again, QQQ, the Qs, that's what that is. QQQM just has a lower expense rate. That's all it is. Like we said, CPI came in 2.2% month over month. I think it was 2.9% year over year. It's good news. That's really good news. Now, let me see my notes. Let me see. Walmart. Let's talk about Walmart before I go into those those since last Monday, those changes. Walmart reports earnings tomorrow, okay, before the bell. And we're going to see what this is going to tell us. It's another indication of how the consumer's doing. Now, we did get a buy here yesterday on Walmart at 69.05. Where are you trading right now? You're at 68.09. So is the algorithm perfect? No. Does it know where the earnings are going to go? No. But I can tell you from what I've seen on other ones, when the algorithm tells you to get in and the earnings come out, they're good. Now, we saw Home Depot yesterday, report bad earnings, bad guidance, and then go up. Walmart may do the same thing. Now, I would say that Walmart here at 69, you're trading at a pretty big valuation. It's not huge because when you take a look at Walmart's competitor in the core portfolio, it's Costco. Costco is twice the cost of Walmart, but the valuation is still a D. Now remember, if Walmart has some problems selling outside of groceries because their profit margin is mainly on things that people pick up when they go ancillary shopping, as I call it, that's going to be the issue. Their growth, it's a C-. They're growing at 5.68, but they're spending a tremendous amount of money. Operating cash flow year over year, down 5%. Leverage free cash flow, minus 62%. The reason is they're expanding into e-commerce. They're taking on Amazon. They're doing a really good business in that. Okay? They also have an advertising division. I like this company. I own this company. Okay, it's ranked number 1 out of 11. From a chart standpoint, we can look at it. It's a buy at 69.05 and you got it at 68. So if you shop at Walmart, if you like Walmart, start adding to your position. Don't go, if you don't have a position in Walmart and you have $1,000 that you want to put into Walmart, put $100 in it today, okay, before earnings. Then you can put in $100 after earnings. Or if it's doing really well, put in $400 after earnings. But if the $1,000 is what you want to put in there, understand sizing is going to matter. And my suggestion would be to build up a long-term portfolio in this. Now, the algorithm makes you 34% on this one. If you buy and hold, you've made 61% over 2 years. So I would argue that buying and holding a stock like Walmart is far better than trading. Now, if you want to trade, these are some stocks you can trade. Look at these gains since the panic lows last Monday. Okay, we're 10 days away from that. 28% on NVIDIA, 24% on Bitcoin. Meta, all-time high, 18%. Japan, which is NIKK, you can trade that one, 16%. Tesla, 14%. Apple, 13%. Amazon, 12%. All of these, crazy, crazy good. And what came out in the news today? Cheez-Its and Skittles. Kellanova soars as Mars confirms merger. Now, this was in the Wall Street Journal. It was predetermined that this was going to happen. You're up 7% today to $80 in Kellanova. I thought that was pretty interesting. Now, NVIDIA, we can talk about this one. Don't let this be you. NVIDIA's up another 2% this morning. We all know folks like this. I'm an idiot. Why didn't I buy NVIDIA at 134? That's July 10th because it popped up. Then when NVIDIA is at 108 on August 13th, I ain't buying that shit. It could go down to 80. Just get in. Just get in. Make sure you have exposure to NVIDIA. It's at 118 right now. Now, the algorithm said to buy at 105. Did I add to it at 105? My dumbass. I'm this douche, but I have exposure to it. I think this one goes back to 130. I honestly think this one goes back to 130. You're seeing that cross up on using the 200-day as your support. NVIDIA, the MACD, still down below, quickly moving into oversold territory. It's 58. Do you want to wait on it? No. Now, could it be that we're just too extended and then they come in with earnings August 26th and they say, oh my God, we got to pull back Blackwell. Oh my God, our inventory levels, we've got higher than previous times inventory levels. Could be. But you don't want to wait on something like this. Again, Jim Cramer says it right, and he's gotten it right on this one. Just buy it and hold it. Don't worry about it. These guys will figure out a way they're transforming their company from a hardware company to a software company. When Apple did that, they did great. They did great. I want to go over some of the core portfolio names. Remember when I was yelling to buy Lilly under 900? I know I was on Spaces a few weeks ago saying, buy Lilly under 900. Just do it. It's going to go back to 900. You think GLP-1's not going to make a ton of money and they're not going to guide higher on just GLP-1? You're out of your mind. Plus, they have an Alzheimer drug where nobody else is in there. Just buy Lilly. It's expensive, yes. 907. If you can get it under 900, just buy it under 900. Yes, it's expensive. Yes, it's extended. If you got $1,000 and you want to put $1,000 into Lilly, buy $100 of it today at 913. Just buy it. Again, this is a company that is printing cash. Yes, the MACD is super high. Yes, we've gone into oversold territory. Yes, we may have more weakness. Dollar cost average your way into this. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Are you going to beat the market? Hopefully. Netflix. Buy it under 700. I think this one continues to go high. Who's not going to be, and I said this, it was funny. I was on Spaces yesterday. I said, who's not going to be watching NFL football on Sunday on Netflix, or on Christmas on Netflix? And half the speakers said, I'm not. But they all had Netflix. So they're not going to be watching football. That's going to bring some sports fans in. If you're not watching receiver, quarterback, I'm an NFL fan. Netflix has some great, the PGA stuff that they have some great sports programming. Now, I do agree with some of the commentators who said they want to, Netflix wants to be valued like a traditional media company. They don't, because right now they're valued as a streamer. That's what they want to be valued at. The pullback down to the 500s, when they said, or this pullback on this one, it's over. And you've got, the 200-day just looking like it's going to bounce off the 50-day look like it bounced off the 200-day. CrowdStrike. We can talk about CrowdStrike. I added to this one. It's on its way to a gap fill. I think, we're starting to fill the gap. Now, the gap's not super high up. It's at 257. You're at 248. You're trading at 250 in the pre-market. But the MACD, again, at 201, great price. I bought at 300. I bought more at 230. Okay, I bought more at 240. I'm happy. I bought at 300 and I'm still holding. This one, when they report earnings, we're going to see that August 28th, this is just as important as NVIDIA. If they announce that they've slowed down on signing new contracts, that's going to be the death of this stock. You're going to see a pullback. But where are people going to go? You saw this death cross to the 50-day. I think that we're going back up to that 50-day at 280. Again, I like this stock. Meta is at all-time highs. I've said it before. This one, if you can get this under 500 again, it's a gift. It's an election year. If you don't think Donald Trump hates, he hates Meta, but he's going to spend billions of dollars in advertising on Facebook and Instagram. The Harris Walls, they're going to spend billions of dollars on Facebook and Instagram. They will. It will be a huge windfall during this election season. They will spend a fortune. Okay? It's at all-time highs. Just get it again. Just get it when it dips under 500. If you want to own this one, again, if you're subscribed to, if you're on Instagram, if you're on Facebook, if you use WhatsApp, just get it. Just get it. I think they're probably leading us into an open source AI. I like their open source AI model because they're going to monetize it probably better than most. But you know who else is monetizing? Google. If you didn't see the Google event yesterday, and I would argue that the Justice Department breaking up Google will be a benefit to your portfolio. If Google is forced to sell off in parts, you will be able to get parts that are worth more than the whole group together. That it will be a fantastic windfall for you. And Google at 161, I think you buy between this 151 and 71. I think that's a good one. Again, if you didn't see Google's full video yesterday, I posted it from Marquez Brown. I posted it on Twitter yesterday. I think it's a fantastic thing. It's the Add Me feature. I liked it. Micron got an upgrade. I looked at this one yesterday. So I think chips, we said yesterday, I looked at the Seeking Alpha yesterday, and semiconductors could recover in October. So, this was from Western Digital Memory Makers. Semiconductors could start recovering. Look at this. This one is an interesting pullback. Now, I still think it's overvalued, but I think these guys turn it around. Now Micron, again, you're trading where you were in 2000. That pullback here from 150 down to 91, and you're trading at 101, again, I think you still have room in this stock. If that death cross, I don't think this one goes back down. They are too crucial to the semiconductor industry, and I think they're turning it around. Now you look at that $97 resistant support. It seems to have held it a little bit. Yet last week it broke down, and I think that was Monday. It opened up at 93. The low was 92. The high was 101. It had the recovery last week. So you look at this weekly, it quickly came down within a couple of weeks. I think you could see this one start to move up. I like this one particularly. The chart on this one looks good. Let's see. Tesla. This is interesting. So this is a monthly chart from Trendspider on Instagram. Again, I use all of these tools to try and find different charts, and they post them different places, and sometimes it pops up, sometimes it doesn't. But Tesla, could the robotaxi event be a catalyst to move higher? And that's what's interesting. Let's go and look at Tesla here, because we did have a buy-in yesterday at 200. Now it's at 206 right now. Decent move. Nothing that's too crazy. I would say that 197 that we had here on Monday, good buy. I mean, it's been a good buy. You have confirmation. Is this something that you want to buy into? I mean, again, I'm not big on Tesla. I think that their valuation doesn't make sense. I think there's better places for my money out there. But if you believe, like many others do, that they are going to be an AI play, it's not overvalued. If you think that they're a car company, it's overvalued. So you have to make the determination about where you are. But I would argue that under this 200-day has been a good place to buy it. It's been a really good place to buy it. And it's gotten some hype. And again, that 200 days up at 235. I would argue that we're still stuck at 260. But I would argue that that's a good one. Now, one that this is interesting because Victoria's Secret, VSCO, They got a new CEO today, just like Starbucks did yesterday. VSCO is up, let's see, 10%. It's up 16%. So the announcement of the new CEO, 16% pop. Looks very similar to Starbucks. I don't know. I ain't wearing the undies. So Cardinal Health. This was interesting. Cardinal Health, which is an alpha pick. Okay. They're up 3%. They beat. Fiscal year guidance raised. They beat and raised. So beat and raised. They're up 2%. This is one that can't get out of its own way. But I will point something interesting out to you in the chart, and it's the weekly chart. And I want to point this out because we had a buy here at 95, July 17th in the algorithm, and you're still in this one. It hasn't gotten you out. You filled some gaps up here, up at 107. You're pulling back a little bit now. It's kind of, again, any reaction in the market is an overreaction, but I want to point this weekly out because this one's interesting. So take a look at this. Each time we hit a new all-time high here at 81 back here in November 2022, you came back and you pulled back to 70, okay? Then you shot up from 70 to a new all-time high of 95 on the weekly. You pulled back. You didn't touch the 81 again, but you pulled back. Once you had confirmation, you pulled back and you went from about 93 all the way up to 113. Now you pulled back to this 95, which was the previous all-time high, and now you're taking off again. Is this the leg higher for this stock? Again, I don't think that this one is overvalued. It's a hold in the quant. It's a hold on Wall Street. It's got an A on valuation. The problem is the growth. And they're spending money in order to grow. And so that's the issue. Now, you can bet on this one. You can look at it. The 52-week range is up to 116. When we go to Wall Street and we look at this, their price target, 111. So you got to 116. You're trading at 106. Assume that 111 is your thing. Right now, it looks like it's well down below its price target. They beat. They raised. I don't know. I mean, it's an alpha pick. I don't know if it's coming out of the alpha picks. I thought this chart was interesting. I just got my dad out of this stock, I think on Friday. I wish I hadn't, but he only had $1,000 in there. He bought at $50. We got out of 100. So it's 100% gain for him. It was interesting. I do think that it's interesting that it's an alpha pick stock. So Foxconn, Q2, profits rise in AI. This is interesting for Apple. This is interesting for NVIDIA because they mentioned specifically some of the racks that they're doing for some of the Huawei stuff. And they're saying, hey, second quarter attributed to owners of the parent company grew over 6%, blah, blah, blah. Read this article. If you're invested in this, I think it's interesting. I think you can do that. Foxconn, their symbol is FXCOF. I don't know how you trade it, but I thought it was more interesting on the Apple front and on the NVIDIA front. Those are two things, and I thought the article was interesting, so if you want to. Now, sports betting. I did sell out of DraftKings. I had a very small position. I did sell out of DraftKings. It's up 1.7%. Flutter is up 8%. Flutter is an interesting one. DraftKings backs off tax surcharge. Flutter rallies after strong FanDuel results. FanDuel just reported great results. They're up 8%. 8%. That's a good, if you want to look at the chart, FLUT. Again, this is how you use the tools. Seeking Alpha gives you the news. You go and look at the chart in Trendspider. But Flutter here, I thought this was interesting just because here in the 4 hour, you make 111%, 110% if you buy and hold. Why not just have the protection? Got you right in before earnings at 187. You're at 213. That's a great move. Now you're going to have a gap. And depending on how big that gap is, maybe you come back because the gap is still here. Gap was filled back here. It gapped down and then it rode back up. But you're looking at probably 222, 223 as being a resistance level on that one. I just thought this article was interesting. Now, Cardinal Health, I did look up on Earnings Hub. I love Earnings Hub. If we want to look at, Walmart here, you can listen to live earnings calls. Walmart, Deere, we brought it up yesterday. Grab, Elk. Walmart is expected to report 64 cents per share. They reported 60 cents, and that was a 22% beat. So that's why the stock went up last time. 64 cents, going to be a stretch. Going to be a stretch, but I do have hopes because they are building their business and spending less. I like how AI is being positioned into there. $168 billion in revenue, 161 reported. So they're going to need to grow. That's what's interesting. Now, where can you find some tools if you don't have, Seeking Alpha, premium? Well, just look at FinViz. FinViz is free to you, okay? And what I noticed on FinViz today, there were a couple of big buy from Energy Transfer. We talked about Energy Transfer, how the CEO and the chairman of the board was adding to this all last year. This was last year in August. Dude was buying millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. Well, he's back with his biggest buy to date, $47 million at 1568. And that was on August 12th. Let's look at the chart, because what does he know that we may not know? Again, he bought at $15.68. The stock is trading at $15.71. This dude spent $48 million on this buy. What does he know that we don't? Earnings were good. If we go over and we look at Energy Transfer in Seeking Alpha, and we just look at Energy Transfer here, it's a hold in the quant. Hold in the quant. It's a valuation of a B. The revisions are a D plus. There are 7 down on earnings per share, none up. 2 down on revenue, 2 down, 2 up. So it's not great from that standpoint. Now, when we take a look at Wall Street and the ratings, it's a strong buy, and it's 17 analysts covering it. Okay, $19 is the price target, 24%. You can see they have kept a line with the way the stock trades. This dude is trading this. I may take my Oxy. I sold Oxy last week. I may take that money I was going to put it into Berkshire. I may put it into Energy Transfer. Part of the reason is, and this is why I like MPLX. MPLX has a huge dividend. This pays an 8.22% forward dividend. And if you can get some capital growth in the actual stock price while paying an 8.22% dividend, look at that weekly chart. It's not like the MACD is overextended, not like the RSI is crazy. There's no catalyst on this. Energy, probably a huge win. Again, we talk about energy all the time. If you have any price raises on energy, it's going to be a good thing for Energy Transfer. I like this one. He's buying it into weakness. Now, do I want to buy into weakness? No, but I want to use the 4-hour algorithm to tell me when to buy. And right now, I don't think you have a chance to buy. I think you wait on it because you don't have 9. I would rather see you buy at $15 or $16 than to buy at $15.70 and to see it come down here to $15.23. But again, an 8% forward yielding dividend. And that's how you find this stuff. I'm not looking in places that are under a rock. I'm just, there's nothing special about me. Nothing. Okay, let's social requests. Hey, Gary, can you take a look at the TSAC31 from Spotfiy? If you listen to me on Spotfiy, you can comment below and I'll look at a stock for you. Could you take a look at MDA? Just had a killer earnings and I'm wondering your opinion on this small cap. I wrote back, I am not a small cap investor. It's not my main gig at all. And we can take a look at this one. The algorithm makes you 54%. You make 30% if you bought it 2 years ago. I'd say trade it with the algorithm. It got you in at $10.32. You're trading at $10.25. I don't know anything about their earnings. MDA. Let's take a look at this one. I don't even see it. So that's MDAL. MDA. What's MDA? I don't even see MDA. MDA space. MDA space. Space. TSAC. I can't even find it. The symbol's not there. MDA. It is MDALF. MDALF. That's what it is. Try and put in the symbol because I don't like MDALF. Let's look at this. MDALF. It's not covered by the quant. what's the market cap on that? 1.27 billion. So it's not super, super small. I don't know. May 10th, growth opportunity. Trade on the chart. I mean, that there's no way I would, MDA LF. Yeah, I don't even see it on Finviz. But it's on Seeking Alpha. Yeah. TS, there's better places for your money. That's for me. There's no way I would get into something if I can't read about it, if I can't understand it. If you can read about it and you can understand it, have at it. But, the algorithm works 54% versus 30%. Trade it on that. You have 40% win. Your average win is 24.34%. So take a look at that one. Joe, Gary, long time since I posted on the page. My father passed away last year and I inherited a good amount. Joe, my condolences about your dad. It's just been sitting in money market accounts, which I decide while I decide how to invest. The volatility this week has at times made me wish I was already in. Thoughts of why I didn't buy UVXY heavy, or why I didn't slam BITX when Bitcoin was down to 51, or why haven't I been playing TQQQ? The day market tanked. I could have hammered it. I already have my retirement money tied up in S&P index fund. If you inherited a sum of money, what would you do with it? So again, take this as I'm not a financial advisor, and more than likely I will inherit a large amount of money when my parents pass away. I'm managing their portfolio right now, so I've got a little bit. What I would do if I inherited a large amount of money, it depends on your age, your stage in life, and it depends. But say you've got $10,000. What would I do with $10,000 today if I got it as a sudden thing? If I didn't have debt, because debt is always your first thing to pay off. It doesn't mean mortgage. If your mortgage is under 4%, you're getting a gift. But if you've got debt, like credit card debt at 13%, pay it off. Okay? That's the first thing. Second thing is index funds. You said you're tied up on index funds. So I'd say, okay, you know what? You're tied up on index fund. Everything's good there. Third thing, I would go into some sort of, risky asset, meaning let's look at some of the Mag 7. And when I say risky asset, it's more risky than an ETF because you will see some fluctuation. ETF protects you, that kind of protection. But if we look at some of the stocks that I like, Apple, I think Apple, after yesterday's Google event, I think Apple may be under some pressure because Google's stuff was really, really good. Buying here at 216, I would trade this one on the algorithm. I would use that. Amazon, I'd buy some Amazon right now. Honest to God, I wouldn't wait. You're going to fill this gap up to 181. You're at 171. You got in at 168. I would buy some Amazon. I would also buy some Eli Lilly. At 913, I would buy some Meta. Not at 531. I'd wait for Meta to pull back, but I would buy some Meta. I would probably buy some Microsoft at 415. Honest to God. I mean, Microsoft, I think is a $440 stock by the end of the year. Buying at 415, I don't think that's a bad thing. Netflix, I would buy some Netflix. I think Netflix is getting back to its all-time highs at 700. It's at 658. That's a big one. I would pour into NVIDIA. I would probably even, if it's money that you inherited, take and it's $10,000, I'd probably take $2,000 right now and put it into NVDL, which is a double leveraged ETF on NVIDIA. That's how much I think they're going to blow away earnings and how they think they get back to 130. But again, if you need that money, not bad. But 20% of that, you could, take money and buy into Bitcoin. You buy into Bitcoin. I would be risky with at least 30% of that money that you inherited. I would pose that into risk because it's money that you didn't expect, money that you didn't know was there. But 30% of that would be risky with, like super risky, like Bitcoin, like MicroStrategy, like NVIDIA, like triple levered ETFs. Again, you know how to trade these triple leveraged ETFs. But if I gain that money, again, if you go back to zero, your dad's legacy is important. So don't go 100%. But you don't want to lose that money because your dad having it in money markets and stuff like that. Yeah, he was very... Don't have him roll over in his grave. You want to be risky with some of it because it could be absolutely life-changing. throw it into Bitcoin, throw it into TQQQ, throw it into NVDL. I think that's the way you do it. But I would take 70% and either pay down debt or be at least safe with it. Because that 70%, if it grows 30% over the next kind of, a year or so, because it's in QQQ, because it's in VOO, and I do think that we're in a bull market, because, you got Lily, because you got Apple, because you just placed it around. That's what I would do. But I would take 30% and I would put it into something risky. I would put it into Bitcoin. I would put it into something that could explode. Again, I think you take that 30% and you could bet it on a daily basis, trade it. But that's what I would do, Joe. Honest to God, that's what I would do. Now, I'm managing my parents' portfolio and I'm not doing that. They're in their 80s. I am doing very safe betting. I'm taking them down from like 30 or 40 positions, and I'm trying to get them down to 25 positions in like 7 or 8 accounts that they have. I'd like them to get down into a couple of accounts. We can't do that because of tracking purposes, but it's all in Fidelity. It's self-managed. We've been able to get them all into Fidelity. So it's about minimizing that kind of brain power so that you can take a look at your stocks and stuff like that. Again, getting them down. That's what I'm doing for my parents. Scans. Boeing. Boeing, it was just announced that they're having some more problems with the 737. This is a company that I think you can buy into. I think you're going to deal with more downside than upside. But I think long term, I think this is something that you could buy into and just, sit and wait till it gets back up to 200. It's at 168. 230 is the resistance level. I think when it gets back up there, yeah. MicroStrategy, we talked about this one. This one was a buy. And I bought it yesterday at 137 something. Let's see. We're at 131. It's down 2.5%. Trying to dollar cost average my way into this one. Bitcoin so far hasn't been hasn't been cooperating with me, shall we say. So I like that one. Wells Fargo. SOFI actually got a buy. I didn't know that we had this one, but I guess SOFI in the, did it get a buy? Yeah. Looks like it did. $6.64. So again, this one, I think it's a $10 stock. I don't think you load up into it, but it's a good company. I really like the CEO. It's just the valuation is a little bit of a problem. Twilio, we talked about Twilio. BLDR, I'm not in BLDR. CAH, we talked about how interesting that chart was. We had a buy-in today on that one. Deere, MetLife, USB, FedEx, income ETFs, TSLY. This is one that's going upper left, upper right. But if you need income, TSLY may provide you that kind of thing. Energy, ARLP, SLB, KOLD, CVX, which is Chevron, OIH, which is the oil refiners, leveraged ETFs, UMDD. That is I think it's a triple lever or double levered. Ultra Pro, triple levered against the mid cap 400. This is the bull. We've pulled back on that one. You had IWM have a cross up today as well. And this one, Ultra Pro, triple levered. You got URTY. And then Spider Sectors, XLB, which is the materials. And you're seeing that in Cleveland Cliffs and other kind of mining kind of stuff. Cleveland Cliffs is down 2.3%, so it's not great. But you had this XLB. Why did it do XLY? XLY, we had a cross up a few days ago. I think it was yesterday or something. XLB, we have a cross up right now at $89.07. So you make 39% following the algorithm in XLB over 2 years. You make 13% if you just buy and hold. So I'm not a huge materials guy, but that's what it is. Okay, if you have any questions, again, we're going to go over Linktree. I didn't go over it, this entire thing. You were ad-free, but now we'll go over this. If you want the 4-hour algorithm, it's in Trendspider. And Trendspider is right here on the Linktree. Okay, you go over here. You sign up. It's $53 a month. It's $53 a month. I guarantee you that if you understand charting and you can use charts, you take emotion out of the trade. It will make you a better trader and investor. And for $53, you get my 4-hour algorithm. I went over TQQQ, how it has the 65-minute algorithm, how it has the 5-minute algorithm. All of that you get, all of my watch list, all of the custom scanners, all of that you get when you sign up for Trendspider through this link. What you do is you sign up, and then up here is the email address. You email me a screenshot of your account. so that I can make sure that Trendspider has you linked up on my account so you get the updates. And when you get those updates, I update the watch list every now and then. I update the scanners every now and then. But you need to be under my program. That's why I asked for a screenshot of your account. The second one is Seeking Alpha Premium. This is a great tool. You saw me go over the quant stuff. I'm not great on fundamentals, but when they give it a grade, I can read the fundamentals. I can easily just look and say, you know what? That's not a bad buy right here. It says it's a strong buy. Let me go in. Let me look at some of the financials. Let me look at some of the valuation, the growth, things of that sort. That's what Seeking Alpha Premium gives you. You get a free 7-day trial when you use my link and $25 off. Now, the third link is Alpha Picks. We talked about Cardinal Health. Alpha Picks is a fantastic return. If you just want to be handheld and given one stock on the 1st, one stock on the 15th, and be handheld with here are stocks that are outside of my comfort level, but their return is what I find confident. The description of when they pick to buy is great. It comes out. You don't get Seeking Alpha Premium with Alpha Picks. These are two separate products. So understand, Seeking Alpha Premium gets you every stock, but you do the choosing. Alpha Picks, they choose for you. They give you the ratings. They give you the overview. It's the 1st and 15th. They tell you when to sell. That's the biggest thing, is they tell you when to sell. Okay. Now on the link tree as well, you can join Webull. I bought TQQQ in my Webull yesterday. Let's see. I think I'm still up on it. It might be down. Let's see. TQQQ, I'm up 8. Let's see. 1%. It looks like, you know what? I'm going to sell it right now. Sell to close, sell, confirm. I took a 1% gain. I'll take it. I mean, that's how easy Webull is. I love Webull. It makes it so simple. Absolutely simple to go through that. You just saw. I mean, that app is fantastic. Fantastic. I sold out of my TQQQ. Now I can look at it on the chart. I knew, hey, I'm going to take 1%. Because I don't care if we pop up again today, but in the morning, I knew I was going to sell it. Let's take a look at the 5-minute so we can see if I made a mistake or if I made an error on this one. We're going to look at the A+ setup strategy to see, did it tell me when to get out and when to get in? I think it probably had me out on the open, yeah. And we're out on the open. We were out before at 63. I think I sold it like 62.70 something, 62.80, somewhere in that neighborhood. But we've got weakness. See how it's on the downside of the 9-day? That's how you want to trade this one. It's very simple. It's very simple. When you see it on the upside of the 9-day, you can trade it up there. Again, this is the benefit of Trendspider. It guides you in that tool. So I sold on Webull. Join Webull. Get 75 free stocks. Now the newsletter, it's free. You will get a list of all of the stocks that I have that are bullish today. And if you sign up and support me, then you get this education section too. The education section, I have gotten so much positive feedback about this. When to sell stocks, MACD, when you can buy stocks, cross-ups, RSI, Bollinger Bands, PE, Golden Cross, Death Cross. You hear me say this stuff all the time. This is where the definitions are, and it has chart examples. And basically, I use the chat for paid subscribers who can ask me questions about what they want, anything that you want to know. That's what that one is, okay? That's the newsletter. If there's somebody listening that's not signed up for the newsletter, I don't know why, because you don't have to sit here and listen to me for an hour a day. Sign up for the newsletter. It's a 5-minute read. So, yeah, Savvy Trader, I've got my trades up there. If you want to Venmo me, say, hey, thanks for the support. You don't want to buy the newsletter. You just want to give me a nice little tip because you made some money. Venmo, PayPal, Cash App. It's all there. If you have any questions, I will be back tomorrow with whiter teeth. Again, Dr. Shiva Talibi, dentist to the stars. She is the best. You can tell her Gary sent you from Daily Stock Picks. She knows me. I know her well. So if you have any questions, hit me up. Okay, see you, bye. Let's see. Now I got to read your comments. Morning, John. morning, David. Lucas, good morning. Can impact your tax return preparation. Yeah, I think it's K1 is pretty standard even for MPLX, Laurel. It's pretty standard because they have to prove that the income is from energy sources because MPLX got income from selling equipment or doing something. It can impact it. Fidelity takes care of all of that for me. And again, it's part of having a good broker. Webull, great trading platform, not a great broker, but Moneza, your choice to sell SMCI is yours. I've lost some. I bought $1,000. I'm sitting on that loss. From a standpoint of a 4-hour algorithm, it got you out with those losses. It got you out here with a 10% loss. Got you back in at 563. Again, that's your choice. I don't think the valuation's crazy. I think you got this gap up here to 614. I think you started to fill it. Right now it's down 2.57%. You can't go up forever. SMCI is just one. It got out over its skis a little bit, but it's still, the valuation is not extended in this. And the market's starting to find that out. The problem is the profitability. And it's this gross profit margin. They went from a 17% profit margin down to 14%. That's what's killing them. That's the only thing that's killing them. Their growth, 109% revenue year over year. That was 80%. And they said they guided higher, going forward. So the PEG ratio is super, super low. So I think you're fine in that one. But again, if you're losing sleep over this one, get out. You got to size in correctly. I've got a lot of money in this one at lower prices and higher prices. So overall, I think I'm about even, probably making money on this. Let me see. I'll tell you right now, because I did sell for a good amount of money in my brokerage account. That trade was last week, and I sold, I want to say at 5. Let me see, where was it last week? I sold on Friday, so I sold at about 500 or so, somewhere in that neighborhood. Let me see if I can get into Fidelity. You're gonna hear the dogs bark here, by the way. My app keeps crashing on Fidelity. You didn't miss it, Monez. I don't think I went over it today. Let's see. All positions. Let's go down to SMCI. Let's see. Total. SMCI. I am overall about even. Because I've got one lot that's down 2%. Well, that's today. Let's see. One lot that's down 33%. Another lot that's up 120%. And another lot that's down 40%. So 2 lots that are down, one that's up, but that one that's up is up big. So there's a special volatility webinar for Alpha Picks, folks. Wow. Okay, I'm out. It's 10 o'clock. See you guys later. Bye.